And I love it that if you were the only person on earth, Jesus would still have come and died for you. I love it. I love it. And this is a question that I feel like I need to ask you. You know, what is forgiveness to you?
Forgiveness to me is everything. As I mentioned earlier, I was betrayed. And I was so consumed with the betrayals. I was so consumed with being hurt and being deceived, being, you know, it took the best of me. It darkened my heart. I didn't have peace at all. I couldn't walk. I was an ugly person, a very ugly person, because I was just filled with unforgiveness. I was just an ugly person. But God turned that around because I felt I couldn't go to God because I was horrible. I sinned against God. And like I said, one thing is to not know God and not experience God. Another is to know God, being raised in a home from right and wrong and still do wrong. Like, how dare I? How do I have the audacity to go to God and say, oh yeah, look what I did, but you can forgive me. Like, I was like, how could I do that? Like, I couldn't find myself to do such thing. And I was so broken and saying, and I remember asking God for forgiveness from the depth of my heart. I took accountability and was ready to accept every consequences of my actions, and I did, and God dealt with it. I just wanted to be back home. I wanted to be under His embrace. I wanted to be under His wing. I wanted to hear His voice again. I just needed to feel Him one more time. And I knew all would be well. And He did bring me home. So who am I not to forgive? But when I see the cross, I see all my sins. So who am I not to forgive?
Because you have been forgiven, it is your duty to forgive.
I don't even think it's a duty. It's a given.
It's a given.
I mean, wow. To me, I was the worst of the worst because I knew I was doing wrong knowingly. And God still forgave me. It's like, and when we forgive, and people may say, oh, look, I know what it is to be betrayed by the same person, and I know what it is to deal with repetitive offenses. I get that. I also understand when God says to forgive Him 70 times 7 a day. I also understand it's not in a lifetime, it's a day. I also understand that we offend God.
Yes.
We are repetitive offenders against the Lord. And we continue to be, even because I'm saved and I know Jesus, doesn't mean I don't offend Him. It doesn't mean that I don't hurt Him. It doesn't mean I don't grieve Him. It doesn't mean that my thoughts don't wander and that I have to catch myself, Lord, put me on check. And I still struggle. I'm a work in progress. Yeah. I'm not perfect. But He, and I'm not saying that we should take His forgiveness for lightly and feel that just because He's such a forgiving God that we should continue that direction. Absolutely not. How can we hurt Him in that way? How can we grieve Him in that way? But
His arm is always open, and He comes for the people who are the worst. Those who are sick are the one who needs a physician. If you are well, you don't need a physician. And guess what? I am sick, and that's why I need my Jesus.